All right. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. So excited that you're joining us. I'm Reagan Linton. I'm Artistic Director of Phamaly. I've been Artistic Director for a little over 4 years now, but I've been performing with Phamaly since 2005. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and my visual description is that I am a white late 30s woman with blonde hair, thanks to highlights, and a red sweater sitting in front of a kitchen background. So happy to see you all or have you all here, and more soon.
Good morning, everybody. I am Sasha Hutchings. I'm the managing director here at Phamaly. I have been with Phamaly since 2018, so going on 3 years, which have just flown by. I'm thrilled to be here. I am a proud 40-year-old woman with about shoulder length, curly brown hair, and I am currently sitting, my background is, you can kind of see my living room, and occasionally you can see my cat Kelso over my shoulder because he is really wanting to be part of the conversation today. So I'm so glad you're all here, and look forward to being with you this morning.
Hi, everybody. I'm Annie Jacobs. I'm the technical production manager at Phamaly. I've been with Phamaly just over a year. And I use she, her, hers pronouns. I am, my visual description is I'm a 40-year-old white woman. I have my hair in braids today, wearing a blue shirt with a maroon vest in front of a wall of pictures in my parents' basement.
Hello, everyone. I'm Darian Ramos, the company production manager at Phamaly. Been with Phamaly, not in this position, but in whole 4 years now. And I go by she, her, hers. And my description, I am a late 20s white female, brown hair. It's shoulder length, but in a bun right now, wearing a gray PTC shirt. And my background is just a wall with a window and a bookcase to my left, I think. And that's where I'm at. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Erin Banta. I'm the administrative assistant here at Phamaly. Similar to Darian, I've been on staff for 2 years, but when working with Phamaly a couple summers as wardrobe manager prior to that. I use she, her pronouns. I am a white woman in her mid-late 20s. I have dark, short hair, a small nose ring. Not sure if you can see it in the camera. Today I'm wearing glasses and my big headset so I can hear you all. Thank you.
Thank you, staff. And we will move into board introductions. So if you are on the board, if you can please turn on your video. Alrighty, and I think we've also, cool. Denise, if you wanna turn on your audio and you can introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Denise Cameron, and I've been on the board for around 5 years. I also work quite a bit volunteering backstage, and I am a white female, senior age. My hair is shoulder length with a little bit of white in there now. And let's see, my background is a white snowy front porch. If you're looking out my two front windows here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members with us today? Alrighty. The rest of our board members are Steve Birchfield, Kathy Greer, Jordan Cagney, Jack Venable, Dale Campo, Stacy D'Angelo, Kim Pabst, and Stuart Tucker Lundy. That's a U. All righty. And next, we will move in to our video we put together of 2020. Look back at 2020.
So, 2020, that happened, and it was not easy, but family has been busy. 2020 started with the international cast of Honk, the musical, first performed at the Aurora Fox, then in Japan. Here is some of the group getting a ride on a bus, and getting caught in the rain, and hanging out with the interpreters in Tokyo. When we got home, things got weird.
Yeah, that's the part I'm really worried about.
Suddenly, our shows were postponed and moved to Zoom, like the original adaptation of Alice in Wonderland.
Wow.
I know, right? Family continues to adapt and overcome with help from our performers, volunteers, puppets, and sloths. Here are clips from the Seize the Day COVID-19 parody. Being at home got the creative juices flowing. Here are a couple wacky videos for Wacky Time submissions, where family folks recorded and shared funny videos.
To roll around in the snow? I don't think so.
There was a lot of filming in 2020. Here we are filming outside with pies. I'll give you context later. Filming in a theater masked and distanced. Outside again, but this time with service dogs. Oh yes, and filming in costume on top of a parking garage. Classic 2020. All this filming led to some awesome work, like this psychedelic music video made with Wheelchair Sports Camp.
Disabled artists making money to support other disabled artists. Yay!
And Family's Big Night, the Show Must Go On webathon, featuring service dog comedy, live talent from family actors, and one hell of a blind pie throwing contest. There's your context. Also, our original web series, Rewrite, where classic texts were reimagined with a disability perspective.
It's not so complex. If any of you had disabilities, then maybe you'd understand.
Including the Constitution, the Bible.
Isn't he God? Won't he see everything?
Now, if he doesn't look up.
And A Christmas Carol.
School was right up these.
I know. If they had a ramp, maybe I would be able to show you that.
Even with this difficult year, Family totally rocked 2020. We miss you and can't wait to keep moving forward. Family has big plans for our upcoming season. Embrace the madness. 2021, here we come.
And now we will move into Family's 20 of 2020, which Erin and Annie will be leading.
Hey, everybody. So, number 20 is we moved into a new administrative office and then worked from home all year.
And hi, I'll be reading the image descriptions. An image of an empty room with several desks, shelves, cabinets, and chairs. There are white walls and a gray carpeted floor.
Number 19, artists contributed 33 wacky videos shared on social media to lift people's spirits at the start of the shutdown.
Family actor Josh Elledge doing an exaggerated dance move in a red kitchen dining space.
Number 18, we hosted 33 virtual coaching sessions providing assistance to 12 artists.
A black background with the Family Theater Company logo in yellow above white icons of a laptop, a person using a megaphone, and a briefcase.
Number 17, participated in 19 virtual outreach events, including radio interviews, presentations, and a virtual ADA celebration.
An event poster with large text reading, "Not broken, just bodacious, forging ahead as women with disabilities, Disability Awareness Month." There is additional event information in small text.
Number 16, 7 artists in collaboration with Wheelchair Sports Camps created Due to the Caucus music video.
Family actor Lucy Rouches dancing in a hooded costume. The colors are in negative, and the image is repeated to give a psychedelic feel.
Number 15, 12 actors, including 2 who were hosted from Japan, performed 13 performances of Honk the Musical in the United States.
6 family actors wearing green top hats and toddler-sized froggy rain boots on their hands. Each is singing on stage and crouched with elbows out.
Number 14, held 4 virtual education classes with 34 participants, 7 from outside Colorado.
A screenshot of a Zoom call with 17 participants, some with camera on and some with it off.
Number 13, created 6 episodes of Get in the Dirt, giving a sneak peek of all things family.
A screenshot of a YouTube video. The still frame is a picture of a metal shovel in dirt. In green, there is the Family Theater Company logo and text reading, "Get in the Dirt."
Number 12, hosted 15 virtual play readings with 71 participants, 22 of whom were out of state, representing 9 different states.
A screenshot of a Zoom call with 10 participants, some with camera on, some with it off. Small white text reads, "Othello clip."
Number 11, brought together 28 artists for a summer workshop over 3 weeks to develop Phamaly's commissioned adaptation of Alice in Wonderland.
A screenshot of a Zoom call with 12 participants, some with camera on and some with it off.
Number 10, Phamaly's Big Night, with 31 actors and 2 service dogs, created 90 minutes of pure joy for over 1,000 viewers.
2 family actors, Kennedy Isaac and Sam Barrasso, are seated at a table with a plastic shield between them. Each is dressed in a sparkly outfit and wearing face shields. In the background is artwork for Phamaly's Big Night, The Show Must Go On Webathon.
Number 9, created first ever cross-country, spanning 1,794 miles, virtual partnership with Queen's Theater.
An event poster. There is a Q shape with a black and white image of actors on the stage to the left and event details to the right. Title reads, "Theater for All."
Number 8, launched a new accessible website, including the full catalog of Phamaly's productions.
Phamaly's website banner, including tabs to reach various web pages and several images from past Phamaly productions.
Number 7, took 21 people to Tokyo for 2 performances, including 2 tactile tours, reaching nearly 1,100 audience members.
Several company members from the production of Honk smiling for a selfie-style photo on a bus.
Number 6, 9 Phamaly actors partnered with the DYAO to perform in the Ellis Island DYAO Spectacular.
An image of 9 family actors in costume arranged on stage in front of a full orchestra.
Number 5, created a parody video, Seize the Day, from Newsies the Musical to educate the community about COVID-19 safety practices. To date, the video has had over 3,700 views on YouTube.
A screenshot of a video. Collaged together, there are several home recordings of family folks singing and dancing. Captions read, "In this together, you're not alone."
Number 4, 8 biblical figures, 6 founding fathers, 4 Christmas ghosts, a Tim and a Scrooge equals rewrite.
A camera crew filming outside, recording artistic director Reagan Linton wearing a fedora.
Number 3, with over 375 donors, Phamaly's Big Night raised over $68,000 to keep families sustainable.
A screenshot of Phamaly's Big Night, including company production manager Darian Ramos throwing a balloon and the queen of the keyboard herself, Donna Debrasini.
Number 2, despite the difficult economic year, Phamaly has maintained all of its staff, who have spent over 125 fun-filled hours in team meetings on Zoom.
The 5 staff members of Phamaly discussing serious business in a virtual call.
And number 1, Phamaly is ready to embrace the madness in 2021.
The artwork is in shades of light green. There is a frame surrounding the image of a person floating cross-legged, wearing a hoodie, headphones, and family face mask. The person depicted is bald and has a limb difference, missing one hand. Text reads 2021 season. Embrace the madness. Thank you.
Thank you both. Yay, 2020. And we will move in to the current state of family with Sasha Hutchings.
Thank you so much, Darian. I appreciate that. So as is true for all of us in pretty much every area of our lives, family has faced a lot of unknowns throughout 2020. However, the uncertainty of the year has not stopped us from moving forward. We wanted to share with you a bit about some of the work family is doing in addition to the programming we just shared through Annie and Aaron's presentation and the video. Specifically this morning, there are 3 areas I want to highlight. First is family's strategic plan, family's anti-racism work, and family's financial position. Next slide. So family's strategic plan. As you may know, we rebranded in 2019, which included everything from updating our logo, as Darian described it earlier, to updating our mission, vision, and values, and creating our commitment to justice, equity, and access statement. In addition, family's board and staff completed a new strategic plan for the organization in 2019. While some of our anticipated timing may need to be adjusted due to COVID-19, the strategic plan is rooted in the organization's values and priorities and gives family a solid map forward for the organization. The strategic plan has 3 main goals for the next 5 years. These goals are in no particular order and will be worked on simultaneously. To fund or develop a permanent home for family theater company. Family has always been a nomadic theater company, and while we have had some amazing partners throughout the years, not having a permanent, secure, and fully accessible location to perform has proven to be a challenge. We don't know what this is going to look like. It might be partnering with another organization, creating our own building, or something we haven't even thought of yet. A significant part of this goal will be to conduct research to see what makes the most sense for the organization. However it may look, we do believe establishing a permanent home for the organization is important to create stability and ensure family is around for another 3 decades and beyond. Be the national thought leader and convener for disability inclusion, access, and professional artistry. Family is the longest running theater company in the United States that does what we do. We have the knowledge and skill to lead the theater field in disability inclusion and access, not to mention our unique aesthetic and artistry. We need to ensure family is not only at the table, but leading discussions about accessibility and inclusion, both locally and nationally. Ensure the family theater company community, the staff, board, theater artists, and audiences represent the diverse identities of the broader community. Family was founded to center the voices and bodies of humans in the disability community who have historically been underrepresented and overlooked. However, much like the broader theater community, family has not done enough to ensure people of all identities are fully represented within our organization and community. There is much work to be done. We are excited to continue the work we are doing as we move forward, researching and implementing our strategic plan. Stay tuned, as we will definitely have updates moving forward. Next slide. Family's anti-racism work. Since its inception, Family has worked to build spaces and programs that are welcoming, supportive, and affirmative of artists who live with a disability. Since disability can impact anyone, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, age, socioeconomic class, or sexual orientation, our community has always been naturally diverse. And Family has striven to create an environment where humans of any identity will be supported, safe, and successful. Yet, over 3 decades, Family has been led predominantly by white, non-disabled, and cisgendered staffs, boards, and artistic teams. And the company has not done an adequate job of intentionally ensuring Family is fully embodying the values of inclusion we have set forth. This summer, in the wake of the crucial social justice and anti-racism movements forcing the nation to look at the systemic and entrenched racism within all facets of our society, Family, acknowledging the organization has not done enough to ensure we are lifting up disabled BIPOC artists, and BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, and intentionally building a theatrical home that is safe and supportive for BIPOC artists, staff, volunteers, and audiences. We made a commitment to actively engage in anti-racism work. Although we're just beginning, we want to share with you where we are in this process. We released a statement in support of Black Lives Matter on June 3rd. Our statement was released through our e-blast on social media, and it is on our website. We created the grounding statement, including acknowledging the land we are on, that Darian shared at the beginning of this town hall. We have been and will continue to read our grounding statement at the beginning of all of our programs. We began the Family Table, a feature included in our e-blast, in July. We created the Family Table as an invitation for folks to explore new subjects, tackle difficult conversations, and learn with us. As explained in our first installment of the Family Table, there is a clear need in our society to reignite our empathy and understanding for one another as humans, and in particular to bring focus to people and communities that have systematically been dehumanized. People with disabilities, people of color, LGBTIQA folks, and Indigenous people. We need to rehumanize. We also put out an open invitation to anyone in our community who was interested in sharing their experience with Phamaly. The invitation was specifically geared towards artists of color, but was open to all artist input. Although Phamaly has always worked to create multiple avenues for input and engagement from all of our artists and stakeholders, we recognize our traditional avenues could have excluded or marginalized some voices and perspectives, and that members of our community may not have always felt comfortable engaging in this way. We received a small but incredibly meaningful response, and the feedback reinforced concerns Phamaly has been addressing for some time. It also illuminated additional concerns about how members of our community have not felt adequately supported, included, or in some cases have felt actively harmed by the actions or inactions of the organization. Next slide. As we move forward and look to Phamaly's future, we must continue to make changes to our policies and practices that more completely embody our values of anti-ableism, accessibility, anti-racism, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And we must enact a greater commitment to actively embody these values in all of our work. This work must be done and will be done in all aspects of the organization and at all levels. However, the reality of Phamaly at the moment is that our staff, board, and leadership is predominantly white, non-disabled, and cisgender. Next slide. As Phamaly continues work in diversifying in all of these areas, it is important diverse voices influence the trajectory of the work. Therefore, the organization is creating an EDI, which stands for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, Anti-Racism Advisory Group, comprised of diverse stakeholders from the organization and the Phamaly community, including artists, staff, and board members. We believe the advisory group will be an important component for Phamaly to move forward. The group will be non-hierarchical. We are specifically omitting those with hierarchical influence, the board chair, the artistic director, and the managing director, and will include 2 Phamaly staff members who will also provide administrative support for its activities. Members of the advisory group who are not staff or board will be compensated for the time. Board participants will count their time toward their board commitment, and staff will count their time toward staff hours. The group will be specifically tasked with providing input and recommendations to Phamaly's leadership around a variety of topics related to equity, diversity, and inclusion, as well as anti-racism practice. At the end of an initial 6 months, the advisory group will be asked to provide a list of reflections and recommended action items for Phamaly around solidifying EDI anti-racism values and Phamaly's policies and practices. The advisory group will begin meeting after the first of the year, and we will share any recommendations provided by the group, as well as the progress of Phamaly's anti-racism work as we move forward. We recognize anti-racism work needs to be done individually, as an organization, throughout our field, and beyond, and we are committed to creating space to ensure this work remains a top priority for the organization. Next slide. Finally, I did want to talk a little bit about Phamaly's financial position. We are very happy to share that Phamaly continues to be financially stable. We have been working tirelessly this year to ensure that we will not only weather this crisis, but we will come out of it stronger than ever. We definitely lost a significant amount of revenue this year, over $173,000 in earned income alone, and earned income includes ticket prices and things like playbill ads. However, the organization has been in constant communication with our funders, and we have been fortunate to receive multiple COVID-19 relief grants. Over the past couple of years, Phamaly has been building a strong financial foundation for the organization, including a reserve fund. The reserve fund was created to allow Phamaly to cover unexpected expenses or unforeseen circumstances. While the fund is small and in no way could cover Phamaly's full loss from the COVID-19 crisis, it has been a great safety net for the organization during these uncertain times. We were also fortunate to have our first ever virtual fundraising event that featured amazing talent from our Phamaly performers, Phamaly's Big Night, the Show Must Go On Webathon this October. Over 1,000 people tuned in, and 375 donors helped us raise over $68,000. We also had a very successful Colorado Gives Day this past Tuesday, raising over $23,000. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who's been able to contribute this year. The outpouring of support we have received is a testament to our amazing artists, volunteers, designers, and board. You are instrumental to our community. Thank you so much. As was shared earlier, we have been fortunate to have had the ability to maintain our entire staff this year. We were able to honor designer contracts from before the pandemic as well. As we move into 2021, we will continue to monitor both the COVID-19 crisis and the organization's financial health closely. And as always, we will be transparent and we'll share with you where we are as an organization. There is still a long road ahead. However, I am confident Phamaly will make it through this crisis. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the state of Phamaly during our Q&A session later in the program, or you can feel free to put any questions you have in the chat box. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for being part of the Phamaly family.
Thank you, Sasha. And just a reminder, there is a live transcript button that you can click for captions. And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat and we will answer it during the Q&A. And because of my mistake, I didn't introduce our interpreters, Natalie and JC, who are interpreting for us today. So thank you, ladies, very much. And we will move into Phamaly in 2021 with Reagan.
Yay! Thank you, Darian, and thank you, Sasha, for all of that incredible information about where Phamaly is right now, and Erin and Annie for looking back at 2020, which has definitely been, I just feel like we all need to take a collective breath, so if you just want to breathe in and out, that's what my collective breath feels like. But we're making it through, so well done, everybody. Thank you to all of you who have participated all year long and continue to keep the vibrancy going, even though we're all way more separate and way more disconnected than we want to be. I would want nothing more today than to be in a room with all of you, having a beer or a Bloody Mary and eating some good food and playing some games and doing this update in person. So we will be back there soon enough. There is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And that kind of brings me to what we're planning for this year, because we are planning. Now, that's in the context of there are a lot of things that are unpredictable, as you might know. We're still kind of waiting to see. Luckily, there's a vaccine on the horizon, but we're waiting to see kind of how that will impact our ability to get back in person this year. So what we've started to do is kind of build at least the first part of the year in a very virtually based or hybrid format. As you saw in the recap of 2020, we did some things this year after the pandemic hit us, where, you know, most of the time we were in virtual spaces, but we also were able to find places such as with the filming of Rewrite, where we were in person and maintaining safe social distance and safe practices around COVID protocols. And so we're hoping to be able to do that a little bit as we move into 2021. And then hopefully as we get further into the year and the whole situation starts to improve, then we will hopefully be coming back into person with each other en masse. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about the programs that we are planning for the time being. First of which is CoronaVox, Stories from the Front, yay! So many of you I know have participated in our past Vox Familia programs, which are families' original writing and performance workshops that were initiated years ago by Edith Weiss, and they've taken different forms over the years, but it's always centered around our family artists telling stories, writing their own stories, and performing them. This year, it's going to look slightly different. We are kind of turning it into more of a documentary style theater project where anybody who wants to can be part of it. You can sign up to be either a writer or an actor, and depending on kind of who signs up and what the mix is, then we might have some people who do both or people who just do one or the other. The writers will end up interviewing a number of community members from all across the community, all different walks and roles of life. So everything from a hospital administrator to somebody who works in a grocery store or in food preparation to a custodial worker. And based on their stories, we will be creating original theatrical pieces that convey the essence of that person and their story through, as an essential worker through this COVID pandemic. And we hope that it will bring the same energy that Vox has always had to these stories, which is not only honesty and integrity, but also humor and maybe some irreverence, because we all need to keep laughing. So we're really excited about that. Then it will transition to 3 directors who are very much a part of our family community. I won't announce those publicly right now, but we will be announcing those soon. So excited to have those pieces directed by these folks who are in the family community, and then ultimately they will be presented in virtual format. And if we get to the point where we're able to present them in live format in some form later in the spring, we will absolutely do that. So CoronaVox, Stories from the Front, we're super excited about that. Next up, we have drum roll or lack thereof, because this is kind of rolling over. I guess it's more of like a rollover drum roll. But Alice in Wonderland, yay! Our first commissioned project that we started last year, and I guess ironically or serendipitously, the pandemic gave us more time to develop this project and work on the script, work on the music. And so we've been doing that this year, and we plan to hopefully put Alice in Wonderland on stage as a fully staged production late next summer. Obviously, this is one of our programs that is probably the most unpredictable in terms of whether we'll be able to be in person, what types of audiences we'll be able to have, how the whole rehearsal process will work. We are absolutely taking into consideration safety as our highest priority, but we also understand we want to get back in the theater. We want to give people engaging theatrical experiences. And so we're coming up with a variety of different ways to potentially envision Alice in order to accomplish all of those goals. But we are really excited and do not want to give up on this project, because it was an awesome project from the beginning. And so we will hopefully be bringing that to the stage. Moving into the fall, we are, and this is just so everybody knows, what we've decided to do with the season announcement this year. Usually by now we would have announced the entire season to the entire community. What we're doing is kind of announcing in chunks. So the season will be announced in 3 different chunks, the first of which will be CoronaVox, the second of which will be Alice, and the third of which will probably be Plays in Sanctuary. That's a little insider tip because you're here on the town hall today with us. So other people in the community won't get that information unless they watch this town hall. But just so you know, that's kind of what we're anticipating. So the third piece of what we're hoping our season will look like is a unique collaboration with some different communities of faith around the Denver metro area, where we'll be doing fully staged play readings, but collaborating with communities of faith in order to present some classic beloved plays and really engage members of all different communities, all different beliefs and backgrounds, in order to have really good dialogue and conversation and kind of bridge some of those gaps that I think this year we've become very aware exist in our society. And theater has always been a bridger between communities, between belief systems, and gives you a safe space to explore a lot of questions about the human condition. So that is exactly what we're hoping to do with these different play readings in the fall. You might be wondering why play readings instead of fully staged plays. Again, it's one of our contingencies around the uncertainty of COVID and kind of where we're going to be come next fall. So we are interested in giving more opportunities for more actors with these play readings, as opposed to more of a potentially limited offering for fewer actors in a fully staged play that ultimately, depending on the situation, could be less flexible in presenting it. So really excited about those. Also, the exact plays are still in process being determined. And so that will also come a little bit later in terms of our announcement. But I have to say, I'm really excited about the potential for all of these projects and what they hold in terms of Phamaly really showing up to do what it's always done, which is spark interest, curiosity, and dialogue about what it is to be human, and really bringing people together, particularly in this time when our country is very divided. In addition to that, we will be continuing all of our education classes and workshops, both in collaboration with the DCPA, and as you may have known or participated in, we have kind of created a new relationship with Queen's Theater in New York, and so we will be continuing to envision different programs with them. Those will be for youth and adults. So always trying to expand our offerings to anybody of any age, even though age is also a state of mind in some ways, but keep an eye out for those, and those will be kicking into high gear after the first of the year in about January or February. In addition, as Sasha went into, we will be doing a lot of work behind the scenes with our EDI anti-racism advisory group. And then as we kind of move on with that group and see what recommendations the group has, those might also continue to impact the programming that's done the rest of the year. So, but we're really prioritizing that as something important, as Sasha said, that is reinforcing a lot of what Phamaly has always done, and then also addressing some of the gaps that we've maybe missed over the years. In addition to that, we will be doing some other virtual events, especially earlier in the year when we're all still very much disconnected in different ways, to try to bring people together. Some of these might be kind of radical advocacy events. We know that there are some really cool programs that are happening all over the country, whether it's like a documentary film like Crip Camp, or other one-act play festivals that are happening at other theater organizations that are disability affirmative. So using this kind of virtual event space to bring people together for readings, for shared watches of movies and other things where we can just continue to keep our community strong even though we're not in person. And then finally, whatever else may come, who knows? It's always, as everybody who is part of Phamaly has always known, one of our greatest strengths is that we're adaptable. We're constantly adapting as individuals and as a community. And this next year, 2021, is going to be absolutely no different. I think we all anticipate that there's going to be a lot to adapt to and continue to stay flexible and malleable. So we'll see what else comes up, and there might be some other opportunities that come up throughout the year. But most of all, we're really excited. Even though we're separated in body, we're still very much together in spirit and community, and we want to continue to solidify that and strengthen it over this next year. So I think that is about all the yammering that I have to do, but I hope you will all take a look. There are signups right now going on for CoronaVox, so if you're interested in that, please do sign up. It's going to be an awesome project. And okay, I think that's all. Thank you. I'll hand it back to Darian.
Thanks, Reagan. Cool. So as Reagan mentioned, there are signups for CoronaVox. So I'm just going to put that link in the chat if you want to utilize that right now. If not, you can always visit our website. Before we continue, I do want to put out this poll. It's asking, would you be comfortable getting together in person for rehearsals and or performances in 2021? So if you wouldn't mind just taking a couple seconds to fill that out for us so we just have an idea where everyone's at. That would be fantastic. I didn't have anything else planned for this moment, so you get my silence. My pretty silence. But yes, if you wouldn't mind filling out that poll, that would be fantastic and would help us kind of understand how we're moving into 2021 as well. Just getting everyone's feelings. All right, I will give it a few more seconds for you all to fill out. Looks like there's a couple more. Oh wait, those couple more might be the staff. So I'm gonna end the poll because that's the staff. Thank you, everyone.
I just have to say, I'm excited to see all the different versions of yes. So yes, and yay.
Yes, thank you, everyone. So we will move into thanking our board members with Sasha.
Thank you, Darian. So we wanted to take a pause, a moment, and first and foremost, thank everyone who has supported Phamaly throughout 2020 and before 2020. We recognize that we wouldn't be here without you, whether you are a audience member, an actor, a stage production person. I mean, whoever you might be, every single person who is part of the Phamaly family makes Phamaly happen. So thank you for that. And then specifically, and I'm so excited because I think I saw her name today, so I'm excited that she is here. We did want to give a special thank you to Linda Plout. Linda has served on Phamaly's board for 6 years, and she just stepped down in November. Prior to serving on the board, she volunteered backstage. She has given so much of herself, her time, her love, her passion to Phamaly, and we are just so grateful for everything that she has done for us. So wanted to thank her here today. She has promised that though she is stepping off of the board, she will still be close to Phamaly. So we will hopefully see her in person with all of you next year. So thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you, Sasha, and thank you, Linda. And so now brings us to our Q&A session. So we'd love to answer any questions you may have about Phamaly. If you do have a question, please feel free to type it in the chat or use the raise hand function and we will call on you, whichever one you are comfortable with. And we will do our best to answer everyone's questions. However, if we do run out of time or if you think of a question after the town hall, please feel free to contact us at info@phamaly.org. So if anyone has any questions, if you want to throw those in the chat or raise your hand function. And I'll be keeping an eye out for that. Tammy and Riley Tuttle asked if we can share more about the classes, when they would be offered and in what format, etc. Reagan, do you want to take that one?
Sure, yeah. Well, the ones that we are planning right now are going to start in February. I guess backing up a little bit, CoronaVox, it's not a class per se, but it is a virtual workshop essentially, where it will be writing and acting. So that's one opportunity for engagement. And then other classes will probably be starting up in February. They will be predominantly virtual, and we are open to working with folks if that is a challenging medium for you. I guess if you're here, it probably is not as challenging as if you weren't here, but still we've worked out a variety of different ways, whether it's like materials that you need for the class and we send those ahead of time, those sorts of things. So yeah, most likely those will be starting in February, continuing on through the spring, mostly virtual format, many of them in collaboration with the DCPA, and we'll have more information on those probably in the next couple of weeks going up on our website. Thanks. And if you have any further questions, feel free to, if I didn't clarify enough, Tammy and Riley, let us know.
And from Lucy, asking about omitting non-hierarchical positions, what good would that do? Reagan or Sasha? I'll let who wants to hop on that one.
I'm happy to address it, and then Sasha, if you have other thoughts. So I think one of the things that we have very much come into awareness around is the pressure that positions of power can put, or the ways in which positions of power can influence how people engage or how people feel comfortable engaging. So we think that it's important that while the advisory group has access to bringing the artistic director, the managing director, the board chair in when necessary or when they want to have conversations, to process through things, that those classic positions of power are not directly engaged with the work, so that folks who maybe don't have those same areas of influence in the organization can dialogue and feel safe in that dialogue without feeling like they're going to suffer some repercussion from the artistic director or the managing director or the board chair, that sort of thing. So it's really just about building a safer environment for folks that don't have classic positions of power to be able to share and have safe dialogue. Sasha, do you have other thoughts on that?
Yeah, the only other thing that I would add is that, and as I mentioned, the work is going to be done throughout the organization. It's not, we just wanted to make sure that, as Reagan said, we eliminated that power structure that can occur from the advisory group, so that they do have that safe space and feel like they can speak freely about the organization and what needs to be done. So I just want to make sure it's clear. The work's going to be done with everybody. But we just wanted to ensure that we could have that safe space for folks.
Yeah, and Lucy, I see your follow-up question. Yes, the positions are still in place. Sorry if that was not clear. It is not that we are throwing away the managing director and the artistic director positions or the board chair. Those will remain in place, as you know, or might know. Sasha and I kind of share leadership as artistic director and managing director, but just for this particular work around EDI and anti-racism and determining kind of what some of those recommendations are for the organization, we just feel strongly that it should not be coming from the place of leadership.
Thank you, Lucy and Sasha and Reagan. I lost it. Another question from Lucy is if Coronavox will be filmed. Annie, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah, so Coronavox will be filmed, and we are hoping that we'll be at a place we can do filming similar to what we did for Rewrite or the fundraiser, where we have safety precautions in place and do multiple days of filming, small groups of people. And then right now we're planning to just screen Coronavox virtually, whether we do it as an, sort of more of an event where we do like a screening party, or we will also release it on YouTube. And then the hope is that we can do an in-person event of watching the screenings, but we won't have any live productions of CoronaVox. We don't think that we're going to be able to have enough audience in place in the spring to do that.
Thank you. And Alex had asked a question about if he needs to hire a manager of some sort. I kind of got more clarification offline, but when auditioning for Phamaly and whatnot, you don't need any experience or any manager. You just sign up, come to us, and we will get you involved. We are happy to have new folks all around. So we're happy to have you. Thanks for joining us, Alex.
And I will just add a kind of wider perspective on the entertainment community right now. TV and film and even theater companies are doing a lot more virtual work, which means they are also auditioning a lot more on a national basis. You know, even if you're not in a certain city, you can still audition for something that's happening there because it might be a virtual experience. So make sure that you are signed up for our Actor Blast. If you are not, we will put you on that because that's where we share the majority of those casting breakdowns that come across our radar. And we also have been helping a lot of people with those submissions. So if you come across something that you want to submit for, right now there's a lot coming out from the film industry looking for young people with disabilities, actors. And so if you are like, oh my gosh, I really want to submit because I think I might be a good fit for this, but geez Louise, I don't know how to like put myself on tape in the right way, or I don't know what they mean by, you know, slate or something like that. Let us know, because we have, with a number of actors already, set it up so that we can help you film, we can help you with the submission, and that's very much a part of what we want to be supporting our actors doing right now. So just a note on that. And again, make sure that you're signed up for our Actor Blast because that's where the majority of those opportunities come.
Thanks, Reagan. And before I move to the next question, in terms of being on the Actor Blast and stuff, Erin, do you want to touch base on how one does that if they are not on the Actor Blast already?
Sure thing. So there's a couple ways to sign up for the Actor Blast. You can always go to our website, and at the bottom of the page, there's a way to sign up there. Otherwise, you can just email info@phamaly.org. Let me know whether you're interested in being part of our general emails that go out weekly, or if you would like specifically actor information or volunteer information, and I can sign you up for one of those lists. And the actor emails don't come out as regularly. It just kind of depends on the opportunities that are available at the time.
Thanks, Erin. And kind of jumping off of that, just so everyone knows, we will be sending out a survey. It's kind of the end of year survey to make sure we have all the right contact information, address, all that fun stuff that we've come to realize we might not have that updated, and we want to make sure that we keep everyone in the loop. So to do that is to send this out. It'll be via Actor Blast, possibly on the Family Friends Facebook page as well, in case we have the wrong email. But we do have another question from Lucy. In terms of Queen's Theater, it seems to ring for actors who don't have much experience. Am I wrong? Reagan?
Yeah, I'll speak to that. And then I don't know if Annie has some thoughts on it too. They've had a program called Theater for All for a few years where they've kind of engaged a little bit similarly to Phamaly actors who have a variety of experience levels. So it's not necessarily geared towards folks that just, you know, have less experience. I don't know if Sam has any thoughts. She participated in the Theater for All kind of intensive this year. Adam Johnson has also participated in that in the past. So if you have thoughts on that or questions, there are two good resources. But they do, you know, they did like a taping yourself, putting yourself on camera workshop earlier this year that was really great for artists of all different experience levels. So their programs are definitely worth taking a look at when they happen. And that program is led by Greg Moscala, or supported by Greg Moscala, who's also the artistic director of Apathete Theater in New York, which was where the play Teenage Dick was originally commissioned. So he's an actor definitely working at a very high professional level, who believes, as we do, that we want to give actors of all different experience levels the resources to gain those professional skills.
Thanks, Reagan. Annie, do you want to add anything onto that?
Yes. So Queen's Theater's Theater for All, the program was founded kind of in the idea of trying to take Queen's Theater, which is a performing arts center in Queens, New York, to make them disability accessible on all fronts. So they implemented a lot of different things, but part of that was a training program, which is where we see most of our interactions with Queen's Theater. They typically will do a 2-week intensive in the fall, which is what I think Sam just participated in. And this year it was, they split it so that they had a section that was for more people newer to acting, and then a section for people who had more experience. And then they do some other workshops and things throughout the year, as well as doing a lot of, they'll produce their main stage series and make sure to integrate actors with disabilities into their audition process and things like that. So it kind of goes into all facets of their programming. And because of COVID-19 especially, a lot of that has gone virtual for them as well. So we've had that ability to do a lot more crossover this year, I think, and kind of shore up that partnership.
Yay, cross-country collaboration. And I think I skipped one. Oh, it was answered, but Lucy had just asked what show is the deadline for December 18th, which is Coronavox, which then Erin shared the link for the sign up again in the chat. So just wanted to make sure everyone saw that. Check in the raise hands. Does anyone else have questions, concerns, anything, or is there any staff, any questions we want to ask the group?
No question. I don't have a question, but I do just want to clarify too. The plan for Alice is to continue on with the artists, the actors that were originally cast in that production. Should there be somebody that is unable to do the show for whatever reason, and it feels like that is a role that we can't adjust in terms of the scheme of the show, then we will recast that role with open auditions. And then continuing on, again, Coronavox, anybody can sign up to be part of that in the spirit of how Vox has always been. And then in the fall, the Plays and Sanctuary, those will be open auditions as most of our other productions are.
Awesome, thanks for that clarification. Maggie wants to share that she's proud of everyone's resilience. Thanks, Maggie. And I don't know, we have lots of time, so are there any more questions? Again, concerns, doesn't have to be a question. Anything that needs to be clarified? Any comments on the polls that were shared? Oh, Tammy and Riley want to share that thanks to everyone. We love family. We miss you. Be safe and healthy this holiday season. And Jamie says, yes, this is an awesome organization. Thank you all. Lucy had asked, was there only one question on the final poll? Yeah, it was just that one. How does everyone feel about getting together in 2021? Maggie wants to know when the next Japan production is. Now, no.
We'll be waiting to hear when we can actually fly to Japan again, and then we'll start looking at that.
If teleportation was a thing.
Exactly.
Oh, we got more. Have you polled, Robert Michael Sanders wants to know, have you polled your audience base about when it's safe to return to a theater space?
So we were part of the Museum of Nature and Science when the pandemic started. They were extremely gracious. They have an entire research arm with the museum, and since, like everyone else, they weren't doing their typical work, they decided that they were going to help arts organizations within Denver specifically to learn some of this. And so we were one of the organizations that participated in a survey that we sent out to 500 audience members, stakeholders, various folks who are connected to Phamaly, to ask those questions, right? Like when would folks feel safe coming together? What would that look like? What would make you feel more comfortable or less comfortable? Those kinds of questions. Their original plan, I have not heard from them in the last probably month and a half or so, but their original plan was once things actually started to open up, that they were going to put together a second survey. So by participating in this, we got the aggregate data, so from all of the different types of organizations that they worked with, and then we also got data specifically from Phamaly, folks who were connected to Phamaly who responded to the survey, and it was extremely helpful, and we are definitely paying attention to that. And the short answer of all of the data that we received is that a lot of people were just in a space where they're like, I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable. So, again, we're paying close attention to all of the briefings that come out. I religiously watch the Jared Polis briefings as well as anything else I can get my hands on, to just kind of see what is happening and what the experts and the scientists are telling us to expect, and trying to adjust accordingly. But I am hopeful that we'll be able to have that kind of part 2 of the audience survey to get a better sense of that as well.
Awesome. Great question, and thank you, Sasha. Anything else? Any questions, concerns from people that are joining us or anyone on the staff that we want to not forget to say on this? Well, if there's nothing else, if something comes to you after we've ended this, again, please email us, info@phamaly.org, and we will be happy to answer those questions. Erin put the email address in the chat. Thank you everyone for joining us. We so appreciate you taking this time out of your Saturday to join us and catch up with all things Phamaly and all things next year Phamaly. So thank you everyone.
I have one last minute thing. I'm sorry. I should have said it when you asked. Hi, it's Erin. We just have our holiday gathering coming up. It's going to be virtual this year. We're going to play some Phamaly trivia, really put your theater knowledge to the test. If you want to come on and join us and hang out a little bit with everyone in the group, and no one will be playing alone. It'll be group trivia. You'll be assigned a team or join a team once you get there. There's more details available on our website, and there's different posts for it on Facebook and the link in the chat. Thanks.
Thanks, Erin. Good catch. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and happy holidays. Stay warm, stay safe.
Really quickly, Lucy just asked when. It's Friday, the 18th.
Yes, December 18th at We're having like a happy hour sing-along section at 6:30. Trivia will start at 7, which is the same date as the deadline for Chronavox, December 18th. Party. All right. Thank you, everyone. Again, stay safe, be well, have a happy holidays. We love you and miss you. Bye.